Welcome back to Gear Gunworks. Today we're going to be talking about how to field strip a SD9VE Smith&Wesson. This will work for all the Sigma series, so the SD9 2.0, the SWs, all of it. And this is modeled after a Glock 19, so the procedures are the same takedown wise. So if you know how to take down a Glock, you're gonna know how to take this down. Okay, so this is the first thing I start with is gun safety, right? We want to make sure the gun is clear before we take the gun apart, just in case we accidentally press the trigger or something malfunctions. You never know, so we want to make sure we're as safe as possible. So the first thing I do is I just come up here, finger off the trigger, obviously. We're going to go ahead and push the mag release, take the mag out. Mag release is right here by the trigger. So boom, mag is clear. It doesn't matter if your mag is clear or not, you just set that to the side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to rack it. So just rack it. You can rack it a couple times. Make sure your chamber is clear of any brass. Make sure there's no brass. If you wanted to press the trigger, you can. I don't see a reason to do that. And if you want to, you can. Just make sure that the chamber is clear and point it in the safe direction if you're gonna do that. And what that looks like is so I'm pointing in the safe direction, my chamber is clear. All I'm doing is pointing in the safe direction and I'm just pressing the trigger. Okay, and you heard that click. That's just, depressing the trigger. So now it's not in battery. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here with our back fingers and we're gonna kind of wrap around, all right? But we're gonna come up closer to the back of the slide so we get more leverage here so we can come back. Because we want our top fingers to do this motion. We're gonna brace ourselves here with the web between the index and the thumb. We're gonna come here and we're just gonna pull back. So now this little takedown lever needs to be about in the middle of here or a little bit further along. There's a piece of takedown lever here and then another piece right there. Okay, so that's part of the same bar. So what we want to do is take these fingers and we want to come around the other side, right? So we're going to take this down. You can do one at a time or both. Sometimes they're kind of hard, so you might have to play around with it. And then we're just going to let the slide fly. Boom, you see how easy that came off? So keep these two down, you see, and you can see internally too, right in here, that bar right there where my finger is pointing, boom, boom, right there. That's your takedown bar or takedown lever. So it's one bar that goes all the way across. You want to make sure that this whole thing is down on each side when you have that takedown happening. So this slide will just pop off. As you see, it kind of slid off frame a little bit. Literally slid off frame here and slid out of frame. Anyway, so what I recommend doing is you'll take that slide, kind of get it loose to where it's going to slide off and it's not catching anymore. And you can kind of try to keep it upright and then boom here, and then you can kind of let the slide go, just let it go slower, and don't point it down like I did. I just have a surface here, so I wasn't worried about it, but just to be safe, I would just have it upright, take those two fingers, right, have your slide here, take the two fingers down and let it kind of slide out. Just let these fingers go, let it kind of slide out, and then you can take it all the way off, right? So your frame and your slide are now separated. So you can clean all these internals, all these rails here. I like to clean and oil them because they're going to be sliding on the end. There's notches here rails here, and they're going to be sliding on that. So the points of contact are the biggest thing for oiling and things of that nature, and as well as moving parts. So you have different bars in here that are, I'll press the trigger here. Obviously it can't be fired at this moment. So anything that's moving that you see there needs to be probably cleaned and oiled. I would do deep cleans, and I might do an in-depth video. It's a little harder to deep clean because you have to take the trigger, the springs off and everything, and get really good in there. And you can perform that every once in a while, but this is just a quick field strip for you going to the range and everything on a regular basis. So clean inside the mag well, right? Any moving parts, and this pretty much all this area is going to be caked up with carbon from shooting. So try to clean as best as you can with a gun specific solvent or cleaner, and make sure that you soak all that up too. You don't want that sitting on your parts, especially plastic parts and things of that nature. So there's your frame, and now really what we have to take apart that's easy anyway to take apart is in the slide. So here you have your slide, right? And clean on the outside in these grooves. This catches carbon a lot. This serrations catch carbon a lot inside of these letters and things. And then like on your sights as well, you can clean up there. So on the internals, you have your barrel in this area here. And so what we're going to do, and you can see this area right here, first of all, gets very dirty. So clean that up. And like I said, you can kind of see that groove in there right where my fingers run along. And you want to oil that up, clean that up and oil that up when you put your gun back together. That is where your slide is making contact with those rails on your frame, on these rails here and here. So what you want to do now is, and you can flip this around if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, obviously you can do the same thing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this plunger forward. Boom. Push it forward and kind of pop it up, right? So push it forward, boom, pop it up out of this groove, because it sits right in there, right in that area. So you're gonna pop it out of this groove. So now you have that, and then your barrel's gonna start moving slowly because it has no, or freely. I mean, it has no tension on it. So what you're gonna do is just pop your barrel. You can pop it out with this finger here from the bottom. Just pop it out and just bring it to the back and out. Right, it falls right in there. So it'll kind of move freely, right? Just pop it up, boom, and come out with it. So bam, there you go. So that's basically all you have to do for field stripping, and you can clean all this area. Obviously, like in here, you have your extractor and your firing pins there. So clean all that up. As you can see, mine needs a clean. It's very dirty right now. So there you go there. And then so your feed ramp that's built into the barrel here, there's your feed ramp where the rounds slide up onto, right, and then go into the chamber. That cakes up a lot. That's another point. And then inside the barrel, you want to take, a bore snake, or you can take, if you're doing a lighter cleaning, you can take just a cotton swab, or, anything soft, maybe even a paper towel if you're brave enough to try to get it through there, and some solvent, and then run another dry one just to catch all the solvent. Because if you look down the barrel, you can kind of, when you're looking at it with the naked eye and not on camera, you can catch and see debris particles in there. So you can kind of hit those with a swab and then hit your barrel with some oil on the inside. But yeah, so this area, I mean, you can see it. It's like normally this area, right, is supposed to be nice and shiny steel, obviously. And it's all black and caked up. So those are kind of some of the points where it gets super dirty. Anywhere near the chamber area is going to be super dirty on the gun, especially if you're firing like, and I mean compared to the rest of the gun, when you're firing hundreds and hundreds of rounds, thousands of rounds, I would say hundreds. You should be cleaning your gun pretty often, so I would say hundreds of rounds. Yeah, you're gonna get caked up in that chamber area. But so that's the first part of the field trip, and I know this video is kind of going long, so I'll wrap it up here. So putting it back together, we're gonna take the barrel, and you can kind of see these spiky looking things. Just make sure those are facing up and your slide is down on the sights, right? I'll just call that down on the sights. So we'll take our barrel and we'll insert it here, right? Just lay it in there, kind of lay it in there, boom. And then as you can see, it's kind of free floating. So you've seen it right there. My barrel kind of just sits in, push it all the way back. You can push it back with your finger. You can hear that drop in, boom. So that's dropped into the position it's supposed to be in. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our spring, right? And there is a, I guess, bigger, like washer looking side, right? So that's what that side looks like. That's gonna go towards the chamber, right? That's gonna sit up here. This little guy that doesn't have a pin looking thing in it, so this one, see, it's like a circle with a pin in it. This one doesn't. That's gonna go towards the front of the slide. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide it towards the front of the slide in this notch here. There's a notch here that holds that. And then what you're gonna do is kind of the same process. You're gonna push it forward. I'll get a little closer. So as you can see, actually I'll just do it from the side here for you guys. So you're gonna push it forward and then it's just literally gonna sit right in that groove. You can kind of see, I'm gonna wiggle it around so you can see better, but it's gonna sit right in that groove. So you just push it up, and you might say, oh, well, you know, it feels a little loose. Like, why is it not, you know, sitting in a notch or anything? Well, it's fine. You just want to kind of center it up. So as you can see, it's kind of centered up. You don't want to let it sit to the side or anything like that. Just center it up, boom, and you're ready to rock. So now what we're gonna do is just take our slide like this. If you look at the back plate there, you can see the notches. So one here and one there. You can see the notches. Those are gonna line up with the rails here and here. So you want everything to slowly, just smoothly go in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up, and as you can see, I'm gonna align those rails with those grooves, and I'm just gonna slide it back as square as I can get it, and then those other rails are gonna slide right into those grooves, as you can see, boom. So what we're gonna do is we're going to rack it, boom. So now it's racked, and you can kind of mess with it, make sure that it got locked into place, and you can rack it a couple times. I recommend it. And then this is where I like to depress the trigger to make sure everything's working correctly. So what I do now is point it in a safe direction, press the trigger, you hear that click, and you can perform that function test a couple times before you are done. And then, like I said, make sure you're paying attention to the outside as well. Your sights, your serrations, get in there. Your trigger, there's dirt right here on the trigger. I can see it right now. Clean your trigger up so your trigger doesn't gum up. Clean your grips up if you can. I have, you know, grip, a custom grip on here, it's not as big of a deal. But anything that's gonna kind of get on your hands that you don't want, you can clean that off, and then it should be pretty gentle compared to the metal parts. So don't use, I would say, don't use random chemicals, right? Make sure you're using gun specific solvent, gun specific oil. And that's another thing, before you put this thing back together, oil all the moving parts and oil the contact points, so the rails, right? Oil those areas, because it'll make your gun run way smoother. Also, I personally stay away from thicker gun lube because I find that thicker gun lube actually encourages the carbon to gum up. So I stick to something simple, and I'll go with, just Remington gun oil. I have a little bottle of Remington gun oil, and it's real liquidy, but it works great. And I oiled this one up the other day to go shooting, and it's still running like a dream. And you can buy into all that fancy gun lube if you want, do as you please, but that's what I use. So, after you're done, at this point, whatever you're using your gun for, you can store it, load it back up. If your mag's loaded, boom, just reinsert your mag and go about your day. Put your gun wherever you want to put it, and whatever it's for, and that's pretty much it. So like I said, we'll be back with more videos, more takedown videos, as well as reviews, and I'll show you guys the upgrades that I did on this as well, because I was talking to a guy on Facebook that created a company that is now doing aftermarket parts for the SD9VE line and the SD9 line in general, like including this mag extension and this flared mag wheel. So shout out to him, and I'll mention his name and his company name. Actually, not his name. I won't shout out his name like that, his personal name. I'll just mention his company name in the next video when we do an upgrade video. Other than that, keep coming back. Stay tuned in. Sorry for being gone so long. Like, follow, whatever you got to do. Subscribe, comment down below anything else you guys want to see. Other than that, have a good day, and I will see you guys in the next one.